Hi, this is Isaiah Langlois from Dubuque. Thanks for watching Game Notes on Crown Refs TV.
Isaiah, you're going to have to list the state. No one knows where Dubuque is.
That's true. That's a good point. Let me do that. Hi, this is Isaiah Langlois from Dubuque, Iowa. Thanks for watching Game Notes on Crown Refs TV. Serve the game.
All right, so Isaiah, for the dedicated audience of basketball officials that are listening, could you just do us a favor, give us a little bit of a background on your story, where you're from, how long you've been officiating, and the story about how we connected through the IPR?
Sure, yeah. So I've been officiating now. Well, I'm from Dubuque, here on the Mississippi River. Born and raised here in Dubuque. Played basketball growing up. Played a little bit in college. 2 years at a small college here in town. I've known one of the officials in our association my whole life. I've always been interested in this officiating, but I never really got into it until I was 25. So in 2015, I contacted him and I was like, hey, how do you get into this officiating thing? Like, I'm interested in it. And he's like, well, we got some Y League, games that, like they're super easy. He always said, he's like, that's like babysitting. You just babysit the kids and, keep them in the lines, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I was like, oh, sweet. So I worked with him a couple times and I was like, I love this. This is great. So got into it a little bit more, did some middle school games, some sophomore games, JV games. And then got my first crack at varsity. Probably, I think it was the next year. It was a crew that needed a guy. They're like, oh, we'd love your help. And I did varsity games and I was like, I love it. Like, this is great. So especially because you get to be in the game still. Like, you're not playing, but you're part of the game, so I did that. I've done that the last 5 years now. Been doing varsity games. We've gone to camps. We have our assigner puts out a camp every summer here in Dubuque. So I've been attending that, and it's great. But you know how the camps are. Like, you might get 5 minutes of just straight, hey, this is what you need to work on this. Like, I can almost remember every camp because I learned at least one thing each camp. And like the one, I was putting my 3-pointer out like a little sideways instead of going up higher. And he's like, hey, work on this for me. Try this once, you'll like it. And sure enough, I didn't. I'm like, I'll never not do it this way ever again. So little stuff. But I was like, I wish there was something more like specific that I could like just sit with somebody and be like, watch my game and do this. And so then we talked about this. I was talking to my crew about this. I was like, when we were going to a game, I was like, you guys think there'd be a market for like someone watching your film and grading you somehow or some way, and then giving you feedback on it? And they're like, oh yeah, maybe, I don't know. And I was like, yeah. And they're kind of like, I don't know. I mean, how much did you pay for that? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Probably not. And so then I was on YouTube watching officiating born videos. And I also watched some of his videos, and I don't know how the YouTube algorithms work, but one of your videos popped up, and I think it was the nine ways you can improve your signals, or nine signals you can improve on, or something like that. And I was like, wow, this guy's great. Like I remember the push signal, like this isn't a foul. Like give him a push and step into it a little bit. And I was like, well, that's really cool. Like, so I actually posted it to our Facebook, nice, our Tri-State Officials Facebook, and like some guys are like, oh yeah, that's really good. And then I started looking at Crown Refs a little bit. I didn't really pay attention to who it was, and then I started watching some of your stuff, and I'm like, well, this guy's got a ton of content. And then I found out that you're doing exactly what we're doing right now. You were already doing this. I'm like, well, there it is. That's exactly what I was thinking about. So yeah, long story short, I was like, I'm gonna hit this guy up. And then I contacted you that same day, and then you called me back, or you called me back, and then we got connected this way. So yeah, it's great.
I hope you don't think I stole your idea.
No, not at all. And then I've had other ideas, and it's like, somebody's already doing it. Okay, they're doing it better than I would have even thought. Okay, there's a lot of smart people out there, right? But yeah, no, it's a great. I'm so glad that we were able to get connected on this.
I really appreciate you discovering the content and then reaching out so quickly. It was pretty much, when we spoke on the phone that day, you're like, I just discovered you like yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, very, very grateful for that. I know I sent you a lot of information in the IPR report. I commented on over 25 plays, I believe. So how was that process for you, downloading the report, watching your game again? Just take me through that.
It was great. No, it was great. Yeah. The report, I love how you break it down. I'm a worst case scenario guy. So like I think you had the strengths first. I'm like, okay, so I'll look at those later. I'm gonna look at
Good.
the
I like
weaknesses. I
we
want
might have
to
to
see
rep.
what I can work on. And then when I feel really bad, I'll go up to the strengths and be like, okay, I feel a little bit better. No, but yeah, no, it was great how you broke it down. Like, and I've worked with younger officials, and it's like they're like, oh, what can I do better? And it's like, what can I say in little tiny bits so that you're not like, well, you need to be standing here, you can't be over there, you got to be having this signal, you can't. There's no way they're going to grasp it all. So if you can give them like one or two little things, 'cause that's how I've learned to get better. Is one guy tells me this, and the other guy says, hey, try this a little bit, and you just the totalitarian, I don't know if that's a word, but like all of it together makes you a better official versus one guy trying to be like, you need to do, these 16 things to get better. That's good too, but it's a lot harder to learn trying to do it all at once. So this was great because now I got something I can look at and be like, okay, I'm already trying to do that, because there's fun things that you put in there that since I watched your videos, I'm like, oh, I've already changed that. Like this
Yeah, like
video, I
what?
don't. In this game film, I haven't changed it yet, but now that I know, I've watched some of your other videos, I'm like, I'm already a better official, at least mechanics wise, because of the videos I watched from your channel. So yeah, but breaking it down, yeah, like the game film too, like it's so helpful to see certain plays like that you can change like after the fact, obviously. But like, yeah, there's a couple of my comments, and I'm like, I just look unenthused. I remember putting that in one of them, like, you're like, your sense of urgency at the table, it seems like you're, and I'm like, I looked like I don't want to be there. I'm kind of like whatever I did, I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. But
It's
yeah,
like,
it was a great report. I greatly enjoyed it. I've looked at it a couple times now, a couple games that I've had, like before the game, just kind of looking at it and be like, all right, I want to work on these two things
right.
tonight, do better at this.
I know there's a lot there. So you've had a chance to work some games post IPR.
Yes. Yep.
Talk to me about the difference on the court. What are you feeling?
Yeah, like I said, even before I got the IPR, like I didn't write any of this down. I don't have anything prepared for this, but like just like the table thing. I know you'd mentioned like getting sucked in. Somebody else said one time, like you're getting sucked into the table, like you're going too far to the table. And I have a question on that as well once we get to that point in the video. But like knowing that, like having that in the back of my head, like, okay, like this is close enough. Like I don't need to get right on top of them. I can be right here. The signals, like the hold signal, the push signal, definitely feel a lot more and like when I or even the hit, the hit one, like I'm like, man, that feels really good. Like whereas before, even my partner, he'll kind of like bend down when he does his hit signal, and I'm kind of like, I haven't said anything to him. We're like, yeah, like I pop it out there and just give it a whack. I mean, so it's been it's been night and day as far as that goes. Like those three specifically, the push, the hold, and the hit signal have all been, and those, I mean, those are your three, probably your majority of your calls are going to be those three.
Yeah, probably most common calls.
Yeah, so it's been great.
Good.
Like having a little more confidence at the table, like, and you do what you see, right? Like monkey see, monkey do. Like when you work with a crew and they do it one way, you're naturally going to gravitate to that way of doing things. And so this is great to be like, okay, you don't have to do it that way. You can, do it a better way, basically. So
yeah, just try to observe, your game and try to accumulate as much information, from the game as possible. Because, the more info I can give you, the more you can kind of digest and then apply. So,
right.
I want to run through obviously some of your timestamps. Before we get into that, is there any other questions you have about the report or any plays that you just kind of want to talk about?
I'm trying to pull up my notes here real quick. I don't think I had any off the start. I just have a couple for at the end. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing to start. Nope. Yeah, we're good to go.
So let's start the game notes section. 18-minute games, no jump ball. How interesting.
Yeah, Wisconsin has got some in masks the whole game. It's interesting.
Yeah. So your first play out of bounds here. Obviously, very simple routine play. But I want you to do it with one hand, right? So it's all right hand there. Stop the clock, point, new direction. Then you can go offhand to point to the spot. But a lot of times we mess up the order of those, the sequence, where we just want to show everyone where it goes out of bounds, and we forget to do our duties, stopping the clock and pointing, although you did stop the clock there. I think it looks a little traffic cop or airport engineer or runway engineer, where they're just using multiple hands signaling. Yep. I just wanted to be a little cleaner, a little simpler. Make sense?
Yeah. Yep. No, I and that's one thing I have been working on that I have not mastered yet, obviously. Like, but knowing like which way you're going and sticking up that arm,
true,
so you can just boom. So it's been difficult, especially when you're on the baseline. Like,
yes,
you have to think about it for a second, because it's the other hand. It's not going to be the same hand most likely, like unless you're straight away. But
it's a great point, Isaiah. That's one of the times that throws me off, definitely in lead, not knowing which way we're going. So you're right. That's why we just have to slow down an extra second. Ball goes out of bounds. Then we know which direction it's going. Then we know which hand to stop.
Right. That's something I'm working on. I'm definitely in the process of working on that.
I'm sure you've heard me talk about holding the ball on the podcast. I just don't want it to be on the hip or the chest or the stomach. You see refs just hold the ball on their stomach. I mean, that looks crazy to me. So just hold it up.
That was me too. So yeah, I don't do it anymore, but it was me before I saw you. And then when you said that, I thought about it. When I see really good officials, like they don't hold the ball. It's lazy. Like it is. It seems lazy to like hold it on your chest or on your stomach. Yeah, it's just
not as professional, right?
It's not. It's really not
a professional look. That's the look we want. So you'll never hold the ball on your armpit again.
No. Or if I do, I'll be like, what am I doing? This looks terrible. Like I'll be conscious of how I look. Like, yeah.
All right, you got a play coming up here. 16:28. You're in C, transition. All right, so I understand, you saw the contact, you saw the foul, but just to have that crew awareness to know your partner's looking at it, your partner's only refereeing one defender, and the play has now opened up to him because that contact is low. So I'm sure he has a very clean look. Double whistles are going to happen. It happens very commonly. We just want to use a little bit more whistle discipline and try to avoid them when necessary.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And the other thing you commented about the point, like that's something that the crew that I'm on now, is that like an older mechanic? Because I'm working on a crew that's been more established.
You're saying like when
like it was double whistle. And
who's going to get the whistle, like points.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was popular back in the day. I find more effective ways to communicate, without pointing.
Right. Sure.
Contact, eye contact, I think, is the best.
And kind of even just kind of doing like even a head nod would be better than,
head nod.
Full point.
Again, a very small thing. No one's going to call you on that.
Right.
Just something we want to eliminate, I think. Just something we want to clean up if possible.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Rebounding foul here. I just want you to point the new direct. Okay, you did it. That was good. Maybe a little bit sooner.
Yep.
Maybe keep with the same hand. Although on these type plays, I might contradict myself here. Like if we're stopping the clock with the fist, I don't mind the point if it's like a foul.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than an out of bounds sequence.
Yeah.
But maybe there just add that point a little bit sooner.
That was the note. Yeah, the note I had was, it was like on those kind of fouls, it's like everybody in the gym knows what it is, and so I incorrectly think, well, that was so obvious. I just I don't have that sense of urgency anymore. I think well, everybody knows what that is. I'm just kind of finishing up the signal here, when it's like why don't I just do it normal? Why do I have to, you know, not have that sense of urgency? And you don't have to be urgent about it, but just like offensive foul,
Yeah.
like
So let's see how you
you don't
report.
need to, I don't need to like do that, because again it goes back to the professional thing.
Maybe just slow down the hold just a split second. It was just a little bit.
Yep.
21 here, and then you were out. I just want that process to last
Yeah.
another 1 to 2 seconds.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, let's look at 1446. 1446. Let's see what I wrote. We understand why the contact would make you blow the whistle, but if you look at the context of the play and then the incidental contact actually allows A2 to start the dribble. So maybe this could have been a play on. What do you think about this play?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It was a rough game to do, but
Well,
it yeah, it was just as you watch the game, like not a lot of athletes on the floor, and we talked pregame about it. We're like, let's not let this get away from us. It's going to be a slugfest out there. Let's call it, call it tight. So that could have been a play on for sure.
Yeah, listen, context is everything. Formation of players is everything. So on this play, the ball bounces to her teammate and everything's fine, no problem. If that's not her teammate there and that's an opponent, now we have a turnover. Now we look at that contact much differently.
Yeah.
So just having that context for that play, every play is different. That contact might be a foul on another play, but this particular one, I don't think we need it.
Right. And that's something that I think even a game we did Friday, very similar play, and I did it more correctly of what you're saying. Like the ball I knew was going to her teammate. We're gonna let it go. Like let's play. Let's go down. Like instead of having a foul and doing it all over. It's definitely something I can get better at and need to be conscious of.
Sure. 1420, the title was finish off the play. Probably another example of maybe not finishing the correct sequence of signals. I like the whistle. I like the foul call you had. Let's take a look. Oh, I'm looking at finish off the play. Okay, so what did we leave out there?
Which one was it? 1420? I'm trying to see it on my side.
Yeah, it was just your double dribble, your illegal dribble here.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to be thorough every time and just tell me, what did we leave out here? Okay, you got to stop the clock. You got the violation.
I didn't point where I'm going.
Yeah, and then to me, that's one of the more important parts of that play, because again, it finishes the play off. It lets everybody in the gym know that you're confident, that you're certain where we're going, and that's one of our duties. It's just one of our steps that we forgot. So
yep.
Stop the clock, signal the violation, point the new direction, then to the spot. I think there's a few plays where maybe your sequencing of your signals could have been a little bit more improved. So
right.
I'm happy that this happened, because it's nice to highlight these play types. Then when they happen again in the game, you'll be ready to apply this stuff. What a move right there. Look at that little side step, that little shimmy. I want to make a boomerang out of this and add some music to it. It could go viral.
Yeah, that was, I usually always go around the players, but I was going to go around her and then she kind of stepped in front. So I had to
very athletic looking move there, buddy. Let's take a look at the foul. Let's see if we like the whistle. We like the run. I'm not a big signaler on the spot. All right, here, biggest issue I have with this play is your disregard for the basketball.
Yeah, yep.
Right? I know you've seen this where the ball bounces to the referee and they just slap it out of the way. Meanwhile, your partner's like 2 feet away looking to go get it. Now he's got to go bend over and get it. He's got a bad back. Now we got him bending over. He pulled another muscle in his back. But no, seriously, it just looks more cohesive when we actually pass the ball to each other. Like we look like we know how to play basketball, and we either give a good bounce pass or a good chest pass to our partners, because we're a team as well.
Right.
So I want you to be conscious of that, and just slow yourselves down. You can slow down there. Now, don't mix this for I want you to go chase after the ball when it rolls to the corner and leave 10 players. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when the ball is close to you, as you're calling a foul or wherever, try to make an effort to at least retrieve it and give it to our partner.
Yep. No, that was a good tip that I have used multiple times since I watched the video. But yeah, you can even see him picking it up. I kind of feel bad watching him pick it up now. And especially because she hands it to me too. It's like,
True.
Why am I going to hand the ball to the referee anymore? He just slapped it on my hand, basically. So, yeah, that was a good tip.
The table is acting like a vacuum and it's sucking you inside.
Yep. Yeah.
And I've seen so many interactions and conversations happen unnecessarily just because referees are getting way too close to the table. So it's almost like you're starting the conversation with the coach because you're in their personal space. They're probably going to say something to you. Good chance.
Right. So one note I made of this. So I remember when I first started reffing, 𝗜𝗵 𝗟𝗴𝗶𝗀 had made this recording of a video. And I'm sure you're familiar with. You probably interviewed him. I don't know, but he has a video where he explains where you're going to end up next. Like, make your signal so you can just about be there, and you can just turn around. He's like, the what that puts off of the crowd and everything. And I know I'm not worried about the crowd, but like it's a game, right? Like you're everything you do, you want to look professional. And his point was like, when I'm reporting a foul, I want to know where I'm going to end up, report my foul, and then be there and be able to just turn around and administer the free throw and not have to. So if you say you're going to report out by the P here at center court and then have to walk, 10 steps to where you need to be down in the lead, the new lead or the trail position.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think that's why I was doing it that way, is because I remember watching that and thinking, oh, he's right. Like, it looks better if you're at your spot and you reported your foul and then you just turn around and you're ready to go, versus having to walk a little bit further. So I think that's why I was doing that. But I think I can split the difference there. Yeah. Like you said, like not be all the way over there, but also not be, way out at the edge of the reporting area.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just find a balance for sure.
Right.
Obviously listen to what 𝗜𝗵 𝗟𝗴𝗶𝗀 says.
Yeah. But he's not officiating anymore though, is he? Isn't he doing administration or something?
He's the director of NBA officiating.
Yeah. I miss him out there. I enjoyed watching him.
He was definitely a very entertaining and just a great ref to watch.
Yeah. I know for sure.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. He's just got a little spark to him.
Yeah, exactly. And I love when he was mic'd up. Like,
yes,
his interaction with the players, like it was great. I loved
that type of content. Referees, we love that. I'm trying to get more stuff like that where we could be mic'd up and get that interaction. We got something coming.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Um, 1350. I mean, you could see how 1350, the coverage we're lacking here. The diagram I sent you.
Yes. Yep.
Now, is that just, just being lazy on that play pretty much?
Yeah. No, being lazy and just not even paying attention. Because I was talking to another official from our association. He does D3 college basketball, and I was just asking him, I'm like, how far down do you go? Like, I know on this play for sure I'm not far. And he's like, you need to be down like 2-3 steps further. And I don't know if it's probably everywhere, but like, it seems like a lot of guys in our area, they're back pretty far. And then the C is up where where the R or the trail should be. It's almost like we've extended our triangle. And again, monkey see, monkey do. If somebody else saw somebody else do that and be like, oh, I'm gonna, because you don't want to get beat, right? There's that weird, like, I've probably only gotten beat, a couple times, especially doing the size ball we do. You're not going to get beat, and if you do, you close down, you're going to get a good look at the play either way. So, but there's always that, like, oh, I don't want to get beat. Like, there's just some
there shouldn't be a fear
unnecessary
of getting beat.
Fear. Yeah, there's like this unnecessary, like, boogeyman out there that's going to get you if you get beat. Like, But like I said, I've gotten beat. Everybody's gotten beat here or there. And
I expect to get beat a couple times a game, you know?
yeah, right. And
It's the risk that you probably take on the current play in order to make sure you're refereeing that in a dependable position, you know?
right. And so, yeah, maybe it's laziness. I don't think it's laziness. It's more of just I wasn't aware of where I was at on the court, basically. And
Yeah, so we're going to extend our coverage here in a pressing situation. No need for you to be anywhere on the other side of midcourt. You're going to be literally closest to the last player. Now, in
right,
this case, the last player is at the 3-point line. You don't need to be that close, especially
right.
because the C is on level there. But I would definitely say 28-foot mark, between 28-foot and half court, midcourt right here, because it's funny, as I was writing my note, I was saying, you know, what happens if there's an inbound steal and a jump shot? And what happens? There's an inbound steal and a jump shot. So
Yeah,
not only are we out of position on the inbounds, even worse, we're out of position when it matters, when the ball becomes live, and now we have a jump shot.
right.
So we want to try to be in a good position for the current look, but then also thinking 1 or 2 moves ahead. Oh, we got the steal. Now's where you got to even hustle even more, like a little bit even more urgency. Like, oh, I'm beat. Let me bust it down.
Yeah, yep. I agree. And again, and again, I'm making it sound like I'm worried about the crowd the whole game, but like again, if they see you do that, they're all going to be like, oh, this guy's working hard. You know, like it's the little things that add up over the course of a game. Like I like walking out of the gym in the crowd thinking, wow, I feel like that guy did a good job. Or who are the referees tonight? Like that's obviously your ultimate goal, but there's going to be calls that don't go their way, and they're going to be like, wow, this guy sucks. Or you know, I'd rather them think, well, this guy sucked, but at least he tried. You know, like I'd rather have that.
I'd rather you not even think about what they think.
No, I know. It's a weakness that I've always had with probably from doing all those little kids games and all the parents screaming and yelling because they're way worse than any coach, in my opinion. But
I won't be that. I won't be that parent.
yeah, same. Me either.
I promise. I know a lot of parents have said those words, and then they've become that. But we're officials. We can't do that.
I don't think I could be that big of a jerk.
No. You know, one of the main strengths in life is being kind, the ability to be kind to everyone.
Yeah.
That includes, you know, the cashier on the line when you're running late and you're behind and they made a mistake. That includes people on the road who cut you off. And that includes, you know, the people that we encounter with this game of basketball.
Yeah.
And trying to always be the bigger person, right? We deal with a lot of emotion, so we have to be emotionally intelligent.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good point.
All right. Which other plays you want to look at here?
Let's see here.
Trying to bounce. One, get to the X. Some good diagrams there.
Yeah, 13, 16. Like same thing with like stopping the clock and knowing before you stop the clock, like that split second you have, we're going that way. So I needed this hand instead of this hand and then this hand, like the traffic cop look.
Yeah. So we just got to slow everything down by a split second.
It's
process.
Yep.
Before you move, process.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. 1301. I just use it's just lazy. Yeah, it's lazy. It's just I gotta hustle on that. Yeah. Where are we at here? Oh yeah, on 1246, the 2-shot signaling.
Okay.
So that a lot of people around that I've worked with do that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's an area thing, like, or is it just when it's not obvious that it's
you know what it is? It's just a high school thing. It's just
sure.
common high school referee look to me.
Sure.
You know, I know you want to move up, right? You looking to do college one day?
I'd hope to. Yeah. I hope to.
I mean, so I always give like feedback for the official who's looking to, you know, ascend.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you move up, this is not something you're going to be doing like in a college game where it's an obvious shooting foul and you foul, two shots, everyone. Like everyone knows it's 2 shots. You know how we know it's not 2 shots? When we do this, when we wave off.
Yeah, yeah.
That's letting everybody know it's not shooting. But if I do this and I don't wave off, it's a shooting foul unless I indicate otherwise.
Right, right. Yeah, and I think it's something I need to try to back off of.
And there you are. You're showing the girl who fouled where she fouled her. Now, why do you feel the need to convince her in that moment where that was? Was that as a courtesy? Was that just to emphasize the call? Like, just
I think she gave me a reaction like I didn't even hit her or something, and then I was like, oh, right in the arm, like it's probably more of a courtesy thing, but definitely not necessary.
I wouldn't even acknowledge her.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like in that moment, I'm saying,
right.
Or acknowledge her differently to not where I'm actually giving her a signal, like,
yeah,
I'll be right over there. Give me a moment. Let me go report the foul type stuff. But this has been a theme a few times where I just think it's a muscle memory. It's just a habit. And listen, you can keep it. Nobody's going to say anything. I just feel like if you know what it is, the theme here is eliminating excess, which essentially is making our job easier, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking to break things down and just simplify.
Well, this is something I've learned at a camp. I was told to do this at a camp. It was completely unnatural. The amount of work it took me to do the preliminary signal it's been over a year that I've been working on it to do it this way. And then it's funny to hear you, and it's like, yeah, why am I? Somebody told me at a camp to do it. So one of the not the assigner, but one of his lieutenants or whatever was like, when you report a foul, you got to say what it is. Like if it's a hit, you got to give him a hit. If it's a block, you do a block. It's a push. Like, and so it's taken me so long to get to this point.
Now, do they say you have to? They say you have to report what happens on the spot, because obviously
on the spot, the preliminary.
There's definitely language in the book where, it says we should be doing this on every single play.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Can you imagine watching a game that every time we blew the whistle, we're reporting who the foul is on, what the foul type is, twice, both at the spot and at the table? Game's going to take 4 hours.
Yeah. It's like I said, I did not enjoy doing it. Like learning how to do it. Now it's kind of second nature. I've gotten better at it, doing it the wrong way. I got better at doing it the wrong way. And now I'm going to try to back off of it and not do it as much.
Yeah, listen, we're narrators from the game. We obviously have to communicate to everyone what's going on, right?
Right.
But I don't think we need to over communicate the obvious.
Yeah. Because when I initially learned how to do this, somebody, I think I reported a block, and then when I came up to the table, I reported a push, and the guy he's like, "What is that?" He's like, "Was it a block or was it a push?" I was like, "It was a push," but he's like, "Why'd you call it a block?" I was like, "It's a lot of I don't know."
The guy doing the book said that?
No, the guy who's watching my game was
okay.
Yeah, one of the they have like evaluator.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you reported a block down the baseline, and then you came up to the table and you said it was a push. Like, some coach is going to see that and he's going to hammer you on that. And I was like, oh gosh,
I've always heard that, and I've never seen a coach hammer someone for reporting the wrong signal.
They would really have to be paying attention.
It could be a conversation starter, but I've never seen anyone get hammered over
No, I haven't either. I haven't
been a block. That's a push. Like, what are we arguing? What are we talking about? What's the argument, coach?
It was both, coach. Yeah. No, that I haven't gotten hammered on it, and I know I've done it wrong.
12:30. You have a foul and one here. Let's check it out. Did you want to call that?
I'm trying to remember. I gotta reopen this here real quick. 12:30. It's just a little choppy there.
For those who are watching game notes, we do apologize. I'd like to blame this choppiness on Zoom. I'm not going to take any responsibility for it.
All right, I'm getting there. 12. What was it? 12:30. 12:30. Okay, let me go back to it here.
So defender definitely kind of slides under her here. It was just a combination of the timing of the whistle and maybe your body language. To me, was just like, you didn't really want to call it. What do you think?
Yeah, I hang on. I just got it pulled up here. All right, here we go. Okay, this one, yeah.
It's a tough play. I mean, you could make a case that this is a foul or a play.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think I don't like I think I didn't like her reaction, like coming back. I don't know. Maybe it probably looked worse from my angle. Maybe like looked like there was a lot more contact than what there really was.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my thought, was there's a lot of contact here. Like I don't think the defender was legal. It looks like, you know,
it definitely does look like a foul here because we have to let the shooter land, right? So she's clearly not providing.
And that's something we go over every single pregame, is let the shooters get to the floor. Like we follow them all the way to the floor. It's something we've always talked about as a crew. Every single game we talk about that. So that's probably was going through my mind as well. Like the defenders appears to be moving underneath the shooter. So, and honestly, the initial contact up top, I think I saw that out of the corner of my eye too, if I remember this play, and kind of being like, oh, like, and obviously my partner's standing right there, so I'm not going to blow it in front of him, but it looked bad from where I was standing. Like the contact looked, whoa. And then to get hammered again right after that, that probably didn't help me lay off the whistle on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put like the play, but it was this play right before about the coach yelling at me or saying something to me about the previous foul. I don't think that played a factor, just because I remember what I told him. I was like, coach, hit her on the arm. Like I'm going to call that a foul every time. If a shooter goes up and to shoot and they get hit on the arm, it's a foul in my book, because it's pretty black and white. So I think that's what I told him. And we've roughed this guy quite a bit, and he gets fired up, but he calms right down. He goes on to the next play.
It's an interesting topic. It's a mindset topic. Like when a coach, let's say, yells at you on one end, or call something on one end, you hear from him, and then on the other end, you call maybe what could be perceived as something cheap for him. So sure. Then I always pose the question, was he in your head, and did he influence your decision making on this particular play? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because that's happened to me before, where that exact scenario has happened, where he yells at, and then all of a sudden you find yourself calling something, you're like, like I definitely was influenced by him, yelling at me. I've had that happen before, for sure. So,
and that's what they're trying to do too.
Right.
That's the advantage they're trying to get. That's why they do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And it's hard not to go the other way, though, when you start thinking about it. At least for me, to go the other way, where it's like, okay, now they're wanting something. They're expecting a little foul here. Oh, it's a little contact. We're gonna let that go, because you know what I mean. Like it's hard to get in between that and call the game the same way all the way through. That's why
I always revert back to trying to strip the emotion out of the game and not like overthink too much what's going on and the conversation we've had and the personalities and the temperature and everything. Just one play at a time, one possession at a time. I'm trying to get this particular play correct, one at a time.
Right. Yeah, that's the key.
So this timestamp has 2 notes here. So you have a block signal. So interesting point on non-block charge plays, meaning charge is never in play, right? Defender's not taking a charge here or not attempting to take one. Then it appears, then we have an obvious blocking foul. Again, no need to signal an obvious blocking foul on the spot. I like to reserve blocks on the spot for block charge plays.
So would you just point then to the point?
Boom. Yeah. What I would do here, stop the clock, just point.
Okay. I like that.
Or stop the clock, point to the spot.
Yeah. I like that. That's again, it makes it more simple.
Yeah, and plus your block at the spot, you don't look interested in doing it either. So like, let's just
No.
eliminate it altogether.
So
And
then
then,
when you go to the table for that, then how do you report that?
how do you report a block?
No, no, like would you at the table? Would you report a block, or how would you? So say I went boom.
That's a blocking foul.
So then when you go to the table, you just report a
Then I'm
block.
going, well, I'm not going to stop the clock at the table. I'm going numbers,
Right.
white 22, block, white ball.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
So I wrote here, you're leaving us in suspense here with how long it takes you to report. So it's a long walk, long walk, long walk. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Like, do you see how I just think we should have handled the business a little bit quicker?
Yep. Yep. Oh no, definitely.
So foul
Absolutely.
at the spot. All right, where are we going? So you're going to the table. Again, throw the ball to your partner instead of just rolling it down there.
Yep.
And it just felt like, all right, right here, pop.
Yep. Yeah. Think about 4 steps too many.
With your block signal, try to get your fists a little bit higher up in the air and then strike the hips. When you stop the clock, that acts as a perfect mirror for your other arm to then mirror it and then right to the hips.
And I've been working on that. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we stop the clock, our fist is in perfect position. That's like a half a block signal, right? Then we just match it, boom, right to the hips.
Yep. No, I've been working on that one too. That's a really good point.
Pain tolerance, 513.
I thought you were talking about the one at 5.
Oh yeah, look at that now, 513. Playing transition.
I think when I watched that travel back, I was like, oh gosh, that might be a bad call. And then I slowed it down. I was like, no, that was the right call. It's one of those ones that you try to explain a travel like that. It's like, I can't really explain it. I mean, I can explain what happened, but it's hard to describe it. You know what I mean? Like you see it, you know it. Like that's a travel. Like, and then watching it in slow motion, I'm like, yeah, definitely.
Don't over explain it. Your answer is coach, she moved her pivot foot, or coach, I had her taking 3 steps.
Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Because I know what you're saying, where you try to actually explain that exact play, and you're like, well, she moved her right foot over and then she picked. It's like too much.
I used to try to do that.
Yeah.
It never works out.
I've gotten in trouble doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you wind up like trying to tell a story.
Yeah. Yep. And you don't have any visual aids to help you. I think 513. Yeah, I think I wanted that one back though. I don't know if you're on that one yet.
Yeah. So pain tolerance, right? I define that as the ability to no call incidental contact all the way up to the threshold before it becomes a foul, right?
Yep.
Just like a boxer, being able to take a punch. So looks like defender established legal guarding position on the fast break in transition, was moving to the left, which she's allowed to do to maintain her legality. So my question to you is, what did the defender do wrong? And did you like this outcome?
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about when you talk about the travel. I don't like it at all.
What would you have done differently?
I think I just let it go.
Good.
It's definitely not a charge. I don't think there's enough contact for a charge.
It's nothing. And who initiates the contact too?
Offensive player, yeah.
And is the defender legal or illegal?
No, they're legal.
Okay. So those are 2 main criteria there. If the defender is illegal, then that line doesn't matter really who initiates all the time.
Right.
Again, more selling on the spot. You know, the more selling that happens on the spot, the less believable we become.
Right. Yeah.
So just, if you want to signal block here, that's okay, because this isn't like the last play where this is more block chargey than the last one.
Yep.
So yeah, block on the signal is cool, but do it right away. Don't do it as you're walking away. Like, guys, that's what it was.
Yep. Yeah, I put that in my notes too. Is like why did I kind of hold it and then I at the last second kind of like give a cheap little block signal. Like I didn't like that one at all. I didn't like the way it looked.
Did you hear the Tyler Ford podcast we just put out?
I saw it. I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet, but I saw that. I saw it pop up on my notifications. So yeah, look forward to watching that.
Do you have notification? You have notifications turned on for the podcast?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. So I got that on my list. I've been working out. We're doing a little small remodel on our house, so I usually pop one of those on and while I'm working. So it's great.
Very appreciative of that. So go away, stay away. Have you ever heard of that term?
Yep.
Do you think that this play kind of fits that criteria?
Yeah, definitely. And it's just so far away from where I'm standing is my biggest issue with it.
Right, and you're not in the most engaged position in trail too. Like, I mean, you're
right.
a step above the 28, but I don't see like weight on your front foot, like you're locked into that exact play.
Right. Right. Yeah, both my partners are there. I take that one back too.
Listen, proximity isn't always primary. So in this case, you might be in the best position to see this play, or you might have potentially be in the position to see this play. I don't think you're in the right positioning though to see this play.
Definitely a step up would have probably helped a lot in that particular play.
And also just kind of it's self-talk in your mind that as she goes left and she's curling away, you're saying to yourself, all right, it's leaving my primary. Trust your partners. You got that. Now I'm going to shift elsewhere.
Yeah, no, definitely.
At 316, I commented about tucking the fingers when you were pointing to the spot. Just anytime we're pointing, just to not have loose fingers sticking out, whether it's a thumb, a ring finger, a pinky. Like if you're going to point with one finger, then just be one finger. Two fingers is just two. Whole hand, everything's connected together, not like loose change.
Yeah, I've been working on just doing the one finger. It seems to be, it works for my hand best to just do one finger. Tuck the thumb in and just one finger.
Yeah.
The two, I don't know. The two I always get them too far apart. I can't.
The two.
One finger. Keep it simple.
One finger point. I just want to take a look at your hold. I know I didn't indicate in the notes about this play. Anything, you remember anything about this play?
Yeah, I have down. Just you had put like immediate fall, indicate the bonus, and improve the hold signal. Which, yeah, again after this, probably 2 games later is when I discovered you. So my hold has gotten, I hope anyway, has gotten significantly better looking. But I still struggle with the bonus though. Like knowing we're in the bonus
I understand.
It's been the biggest weakness of my game, I think, overall. Even in little kids tournaments, like this is our 14th foul, but I'll still be like, boom, right here out of bounds. No. Like, yeah, we've been in the bonus now for 7 fouls, so it just has not clicked in my head. Some games I do really good, but not all the time. It's definitely something I've continued to work on.
Mm-hmm. Well, the more you put it out there, the more the galaxy will make it happen.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So this is a little bit of a loud play, right? There's swiping going on, turning, pivoting, multiple defenders, potential fouls that we know call. So my question to you is, when we do blow the whistle, are we 100% that is illegal contact, or are we reacting to the series of swipes and pivots?
Yeah, let me pull it up here. 203.
Because on film, we can't see the point of contact. I just want to, sometimes on these plays, we just like pushing the stop button because just too much going on.
Yeah, I can't remember on that one. What? Yeah, I'd have to have another camera angle to see exactly.
You don't remember live? You don't remember live?
I don't. I think she raked her on the arm with her left hand, but I'm not 100% certain though. It's been too long. Short memory, right?
Regardless if you got this play correct or not, it's a good scenario to think about, right? Plays that are loud.
Definitely.
Again, this comes down to pain tolerance. That was a pain tolerance play. you're no calling all those aggressive swipes, two defenders very close to each other. Your like your sensors are going off, like this could be a foul coming up, right? Your foul gauge, like, all right, pay attention, could have a foul here. But I just don't want us to blow the whistle if we don't have illegal contact in those moments, even though our radar is up.
Yeah, that's a really good one to think about, because exactly, like you're thinking like, oh, this looks bad. Like there's people are swiping, and there's going to be a jump ball, and then the coach is going to yell at you about there was a foul before, and so you're, yeah, like I said, you're on high alert. Like, I'm going to get it right here. Yeah.
Definitely a busier first half than second half.
Yeah, I know for sure. Yeah, this one is hard to see, but I do remember this one live. She brought it down with her right hand and then like finished the dribble with her left hand. Watching it on film, it doesn't look like that. I know, and film doesn't lie, but I remember this one live.
Sometimes it does.
I got a good look at it. I remember this one specifically. But I can see how if you're watching it, you're like, oh, I didn't see anything on that. But
so where is the second? What did she do?
so she had a ball in her right hand, brings it over, and then finishes the dribble with the left hand.
Oh, sneaky. She's like a sneaky offhand dribbler.
Yeah, and like I said, I watched it. I'm like, well, you can't even really see it. I mean, if you had another angle, you might be able to see it. But she brings it down and like finishes it with the left hand.
That's a classic, clever play of a youth who doesn't know how to dribble, but is really good at disguising it.
Yeah. If you keep it low and just kind of be able to sneak it right past.
I've missed about 30 of these in a youth game where it took me 2 or 3 to realize, wait, no, she's double dribbling because they're so quick with that offhand.
Yep.
It's like the guide hands.
Exactly. Where they dribble it up and they're using that left hand to kind of just keep the ball where they want it. And
it's a skill.
It is, because if you keep that left hand close, it's really hard to pick up. Like if they kind of run that way, they run. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, the foreign signal. I like that one. I love that. I laughed at that. You put that out there.
So yeah, back to the foreign signal. I wasn't sure what it was. All right, we know that's a hold. But at the table, it looked like you almost did a double hit to the head right here. What's that?
I don't know.
That's the foreign signal we don't know, right? It's a UFO.
I watched it. I was laughing at myself like what is that? I have no idea. But I've got better at that one too. I had one just the other night, and yeah, I came in and it was just like hit to the head. And it was just so much simpler. Like I don't know what I was doing on that one.
If you were beckoning in subs, I would say that looks really strong. Beckoning both subs,
yeah.
Was it a hit to the head? Did that have
anything?
It was. Okay.
It was. Yeah, it was a hit to the head.
Probably just a little confusion. So hits to the head, like do that on the spot right away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know I talk about not signaling on the spot, but there are a few times where we want to,
yeah.
And hits to the head that maybe not everybody sees.
Sure.
Always come out.
Because there's get those.
Like, go ahead.
You go get those like when you're in the trail, and I just had one the other night where I'm in the trail, and the layup goes across the other side, like they're kind of doing like a reverse layup, and they get popped in the head, and it's as far away from you as possible, but the C and the lead probably aren't going to see it. Do you go get those?
I mean, I'm not really coming to get something when I'm really far away, unless I'm 1,000%. And the way you described it, you weren't necessarily 1,000.
Well, I know they got hit in the head, but I don't want to minimize hit to the head at all, but it's that glancing blow when they're going in for the block, and they like it.
Listen, that could be a crusader for sure. That could be the one to come and go get from 40 feet away, because she got hit in the head and you were the only one to come see it. I'm just applying the fact that if you don't know, don't blow, and we're not going to come 45 feet across the court on most plays, but we want to have sensitivity to the head, and that might not even be a terrible play or a terrible risk to go take. If you think someone got hit in the head, you can survive something like that. Coach, you know, I apologize if I got the play wrong. I was certain at the time that they got hit in the head.
Yeah, because I just had one just the other night. I think it was Thursday night, and I know he got hit in the head because then even after it, he as he's running up the court, he went like that, kind of looking around like that. I'm like, I should have blew that one because I was certain he did get hit in the head.
Okay.
And then but then like a couple seconds go by, you're like, well, maybe he didn't. And then he comes out, he's like going like that. I'm like, he got hit in the head.
Well, you weren't that certain if you were ready to change your mind so quickly.
True. That's a good point. I feel better already.
Well, we got the parents gathering after the game. How nice.
Well, in Wisconsin, you can't linger. They say that before the game. Like, everybody must exit the gym immediately. Do not greet your players. And they see everybody out here.
You're in Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Well, yeah, we do some games in Wisconsin.
Oh, you're on the border. Oh,
Yep.
That's why you call it the tri-state. Hey, I didn't know there was a tri-state involving Iowa, Wisconsin, and
Illinois.
Illinois.
Illinois. Yep.
So many tri-states.
Right. Oh, yeah. They're everywhere.
111, last play of the game. You had a really nice, really smooth point, and I loved your travel signal. I just want your hand to get a little bit straighter up, and I think I indicated this in the mechanics video. Try not to bend that hand back. The hand should be flat, straight up. So it's not a bent backhand like my wrist is bent. It doesn't look fall as big, as strong.
Yep. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, you did a really nice job, man. I definitely saw a lot of potential. I think if you can just apply a lot of this information, you're gonna see immediate results, right away on the court, which you already have. So, is there anything else I can answer for you? Anything we left out?
I guess so that we kind of talked about a little bit, like where's the line, in your opinion, on using college mechanics in a high school game? Because I know I've been to camps or talked to other guys, and they're like, "Well, why are you doing that? That's not a high school mechanic." Like even stopping the clock. So I used to do the Jeter chop. I didn't even know it was called that, but I used to do that back in the day because I saw guys doing it. I'm like, that looks so. But then people are like, "That's a college mechanic. You should be you should be chopping the clock with."
That's not true. It's not even a college mechanic.
It's not.
It's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's
just a.
There's high school and college have a ton of similarities. So specifically, which signals are you speaking about that you don't think you should be doing in a high school game?
Well, that one was a big one. The Jeter chop one instead of because I hate doing either the two fingers or the open hand chop. I think it just looks. I remember you said it looks unathletic. Like, I think is what the term you said.
And it's funny. I talk about this a lot, but a lot of what's written, does not set us up for believability on the court. It's great that it says this in this book, but what about in a live ball, packed house, rivalry teams? You're gonna go do something from the book, and it's not gonna ring off as much. You're lacking that human element. So.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably something you just work out with your crew. That's kind of what in my head, that I'm like, I'm just going to talk to my guys and just say, like, I want to do this. Like, are you guys okay with it? Basically, like, I don't want us to look disjointed because I'm doing this and you're doing that. But in reality, everybody does it a little bit differently, anyways. Like, some guys chop with two fingers, some guys chop their whole hand. I love the Jeter chop. Like I said, since watching you, I went back to it.
Yeah. I think you should do.
It feels so natural.
What you want. You should do what feels natural to you. And just remember, a lot of the people that are telling you what you shouldn't be doing probably are retired.
Yeah, or older. Yeah,
refereeing. Yeah, I know. It's just these are conversations from that older official who's on the board for 30 years, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the other that really helps a lot because I've been struggling with that. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's a couple different signals that I've used, and my partner be like, that's a college mechanic. I mean, you can do it, but that's a college mechanic. Like I said, I can't remember which one.
Well, I wouldn't be doing college mechanics if you're not working college.
Good point. Yeah, yeah,
Like I do some college mechanics in a high school game, knowing that obviously I want to be full-time college ref. I don't want my game to slip at all. I'm not trying to big time the high school game or do anything
right.
like, it's just I go out and ref a certain way, and most of it is, college. But like I said, college and high school have a lot of similarities too.
They do. They do. Yeah, they overlap quite a bit. Yeah,
So like your guy who told you this is a college mechanic, well, no, that's not true either. It's not even a college mechanic. It's
yeah.
just a mechanic of what really good referees do.
We joke about it as a crew. The bird dog is still in the book. Like it's still a approved signal.
I know.
You imagine coming out with a bird dog?
Yeah. I made
You
fun of
imagine
that.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You'd see it, you'd be like, how old is that guy? Like that's exactly what you do. You'd be like, that guy's he's definitely an older guy. Like you don't see any young guys doing that.
No disrespect to the bird dog. It was a legendary revolutionary signal in 1958. It had a great run. It had a great run. It's just not part of modern basketball.
It's not, but that's a perfect example. It's still in the book. If you bird dogged the biggest high school game of your life, by the book, you're correct, but you would look awful. Like it would be like, who is this guy? Like,
Yeah, there's that disconnect though with the books trying to set us up to not look believable, not look modern, not look like a strong official.
yeah,
That's why people modify the signals,
yeah.
because they have to go out and ref that night and do what's best for them in that game and in that moment.
I think that's the key that I took away from this is you got to do what's best for in that game in that moment. Like, don't worry about the book. Like, whether you do the three signal or you do the open hand, like because I think by the book, isn't it?
Yeah,
you do the three. But I've been doing open hand.
well, women's is open hand, I believe, right?
Or is women's three?
Women's
I can't remember.
open hand.
Yeah, so I've been doing that. I'm like the three. It never felt natural to me. The open hand just I think it looks sharp. Like for me at least, I think it looks good.
You look like a pro.
Yeah, right. You look I think it makes you look more confident too. Like I don't know, maybe it's just I'm a younger guy. I know a lot of the older guys. Like I was taught like you do the three. And I think it's an old women's where you put it out kind of perpendicular. You can't really, but you put it out like this, and then you do up like this.
Again, this does not set up to look like a strong official doing that.
Exactly. But I was taught that, and I'm like, oh, this guy that I was told me this does state championship games in Wisconsin. So I'm like, well, I'm going to listen to this guy. But then over time, it's like that works for him, and that's great. He's an established official, but I think it looks more professional for me. But everybody's got to do what they got to do, right?
Listen, anytime you have these type of questions, allow me to be your filter. Allow me to tell you actually what matters and what doesn't, because I've heard all of this stuff, just like a lot of officials have heard similar stories from their local board. They want you to do it by the book, but they're not. It's not their career. They're not the one who's looking to move up, looking to elevate, and really learn the game, learn the craft.
Right. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll definitely when I think of those other ones, I'll shoot them over to you and just to kind of like bounce it off of you. But no, the other I think I don't want to take too much of your time here, but the pregame, quick 30-second elevator speech. What does your pregame look for your crew, new and a familiar crew, and then players, coaches? Like what do you go over? What do you like to talk about?
What do I like to talk about in my pregame? I like to break the pregame down into like clock awareness. So I'll do a bunch of bullets on clock awareness, tips for clocks, reminders, self-talks, things to keep in mind with the clock. I'll do one on play calling where we'll talk about some play calling guidelines. Obviously letting them play through incidental contact, trying to match gray area plays. We can match gray area plays. We can't match black and white plays. If you have a obvious block, right? I can't match that if I have an obvious charge. So black and white, unmatchable. But gray, if you have a 50-50 block charge and you go block, now I have a 50-50 block charge. Now I can go block, and now we can stay consistent because it was gray.
Yeah.
So just things like that. Communication is another portion of the pregame where we talk about coaches and, okay, we're going to allow the coach to vent once or twice. We're going to give them, that opportunity to not to say we're going to let them yell and scream, but you give them one or two where they're like questioning you and maybe yelling out loud, and then we have to address it. So if it happens again, we got to address it. And we got to address it early. We want to be very approachable. We want to be firm and fair, but it's our job to run the game, and we can't allow people to become a distraction, for the game. So my pregame is, is based on that, and it's different depending on who I'm working with.
Yeah, right.
If I'm working with the younger guy, it might be a little bit more descriptive, a little bit longer, versus a veteran who's had thousands of pregames. We'll just kind of hit on the main bullets. But it's really important for the pregame is to speak friendly first about just non-basketball things. How's your family? Really building that rapport. You want to go into the locker room and really be, have a good positive vibes with you and your crew first before we talk business.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That always makes the pregame flow much better, obviously.
And then you where you're at, like, you guys have pregames with coaches and players still? We just do it with coaches now, no players.
We do have in the high school, we do meet at center court with the coaches and captains. So sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, it's usually mine usually lasts about 30 seconds.
Quick, very quick.
Yeah, some guys I've worked with, they want to have this speech of black lines all the way around the court. There's a cable about the basket. And
don't say that. I get in. Yeah. Hey, fellas, ladies, real quick, okay? White talks to white, blue talks to blue. Yep. If we're talking to you, we're trying to help you. Besides that, stay out of each other's face. Have a great game.
Yeah, love it. Shorter the better, because you lose them after you probably already lost them in that speech. they're there and
do it as fast as I could.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, you kind of went over the coaches. Overly just demonstrative coaches that are good at what they do and they can flirt with that line. Mm-hmm. Like, I know you mentioned it, getting on it early, but how do you manage it when you didn't get on it early, or they didn't even react early, and then later in the game they start getting, everyone knows that line's at. There's a line there, but they're really good at getting close to it. Like,
some coaches are.
How do you manage that, or is it just game by game? Everyone's different.
Yeah, game by game, everybody's different. If, let's say, this particular coach is quiet in the first half and then he starts barking, you can't get to him early on because it didn't happen. You got to get to him in the third quarter. Like I told you before, I give them one or two shouts or one or two arms up or one or two, how do you make that calls, right? Before then I approach them following a timeout or during a dead ball. But the best time is to approach them is following a timeout when they've kind of reset and they've calmed down. And then that's where you go and you convey your message. What message do you have to tell them? You're the one who gets to control. We get to control the rules, like the rules of the dialogue, how we speak to coaches. We get to be in charge of that. Now, if we're not taking charge of it, guess who's going to take charge of it? But we do have the built-in leverage to establish those ground rules. So you just got to get to the coach at the right time. You got to communicate effectively. Hey, coach, I'm very approachable. If you have a question, a few times you're shouting out at me when I'm running up the court. That's not fair to me or you, because I can't provide you with an answer when I'm running up the court. Now I have time. I'm happy to answer any question you have. Do you have a question about a play in particular? They never want to talk specifics.
Nope.
No. Nope. So give them the opportunity to talk specifics, because then they'll back out. No, we're not getting it on this end. And then you call that down. Okay, coach, we'll watch for it. Do you have a specific play, though, you want to talk about? They don't. I always get down to specifics, right? I laid the ground rule. First thing I said was I'm approachable. That lets you, coach, I'm nice.
Yeah.
You can trust me. I'm nice. That's like the opening dart. Then I start getting into more of my content, more of my messaging.
And I think that was the Roger Ayers one that I listened to, where he went over that, like, even like with the assistants. I mean, obviously he's at a higher level, but when he hears of a new assistant being hired, he'll try to go in and find the bio and try to just find out a little bit, and you get that little bit of an edge where, hey, this guy seems like a nice guy, because they deal with a lot of jerks. They deal with a lot of bad refs, like not bad refs, but refs that maybe don't care as much as you do. So if you can get that little edge, like he was saying, like, I thought that was really good. That episode was really good about that, because like I think it was the Baylor coach, something about bass fishing, and all of a sudden the guy lit up like a Christmas tree, like, oh, you like bass fishing? Like, all of a sudden you got a friend on the bench. You don't have an enemy on the bench. You got a friend on the bench. Like, yeah, he's still gonna question you and all that, but he knows there's something different. Like the relationship changed. Like, all of a sudden you got more credibility with him. He doesn't feel like you're gonna screw him over. So
yeah,
I thought that was really good. That
Roger obviously has, you know, real gift of gab, and you could just tell he gave us so many like seasoned tips.
Yeah.
That you only get with 20 years of major high D1 experience. Assistant coach example you just gave. That's just like being seasoned.
It was great. I was eating it up. I was like, this is great. Like, I don't even think I finished that episode yet, because it was so long that I had to stop.
Isaiah, you better go back.
I will. I got it bookmarked. I got it saved. I'll listen to it. But that was the part I listened to. I was like, this is so good. I gotta get back and listen to it. But no, I definitely will.
Well, it was a pleasure connecting with you, man. Thanks for everything. I'm obviously going to continue to stay in touch and coach you. You know, you want to send plays, you want to talk on the phone about any kind of situations, and I want to get you set up for camps this summer too. So stay in touch, continue to send me plays. I want to see, you send me plays now that you've had the IPR to really sink in. I want to see the new you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. No, I definitely will, because it's been great. I would highly recommend it to anybody that wants to get better. Because I was talking about it with somebody from our association. I'm like, oh, maybe we could do this. Some guys don't want to get better. Not that they don't want to get better, but they don't want to take the time to get better. You know what I mean? Like, so this has been phenomenal for me, because it's so many little things that add up to a big thing. So I greatly appreciate it, and I will definitely stay in touch.
Pleasure speaking with you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you for listening to the Crown Refs Podcast. Serve the game.